The moment Gao Tu discovered that he was pregnant, his mind went completely blank. It was as if the world had stopped spinning, as if every sound and movement around him had been muted. He stared at the confirmation test in disbelief, his heart racing and then sinking at the same time. After everything, after all the complications of his own body, after the years of dealing with his pheromone disorder, this was impossible. Soon, he found himself in the pheromone department's clinic, facing the doctor who had treated him for years, a doctor who knew Gao Tu's condition better than anyone else. The older Omega's expression was stern, almost grim. "Gao Tu," the doctor said firmly, "I strongly advise that you terminate the pregnancy immediately." Gao Tu's breath caught in his throat. "Terminate it?" he whispered, his voice shaking. "Yes," the doctor continued, unflinching. "As a patient with a pheromone disorder, it is impossible for you to safely carry this pregnancy alone. Without the support of your own alpha's pheromones, your body cannot sustain this child. You would be risking both your life and the baby's." The words hit him like a hammer. He knew the doctor was right. The science was clear. The danger was real. Yet, deep down, he couldn't accept it. I heard there are artificial soothing pheromones now," Gao Tu said hesitantly, barely above a whisper. "Or maybe I could try pheromones from another alpha with a high compatibility." "Couldn't that work?" The doctor shook his head slowly. "It's not practical. Your reactions during this pregnancy are severe vomiting, loss of appetite, insomnia, weakness. Even a mild Omega would struggle this much. You cannot safely continue without the comfort pheromones of your own alpha." The doctor's voice softened, but his words were sharp with frustration. "That alpha you like, he's a scumbag." Gao Tu's head dropped, his cheeks burning. "He's not," he muttered, almost to himself. "It's my own fault." The older Omega doctor slammed the medical record onto the table, unable to contain his anger. "What's wrong with you? No matter what mistakes you've made, you cannot get pregnant alone. And that alpha, he hates Omegas, but he still got you pregnant. Doesn't he have any responsibility at all?" Gao Tu didn't answer. He had no energy to argue, no desire to place blame. Blame would not change the reality. He was pregnant, his body was failing him, and the child's life was at stake. The only thing left was to find a practical solution. "Doctor," Gao Tu said, his voice barely audible, "I know you're telling me this for my own good, but I want this child." The words made him shiver. Saying them out loud made him feel exposed, ashamed even, but he couldn't hide the truth anymore. He wanted this child, the child that was the result of a mistake, a fleeting connection, and yet so real, so undeniable. Could I try using pheromones from another alpha?" he asked quietly. "Just to see if it might help me carry this pregnancy safely?" The doctor sighed, his face heavy with concern. "Gao Tu, your condition makes pregnancy inherently more difficult. The early reactions you've experienced, vomiting, insomnia, loss of appetite, are far more intense than what most Omegas face. Without your own alpha's pheromones, your body cannot stabilize. Using another alpha's pheromones carries serious risks, not only physically but morally and legally." Gao Tu's face flushed crimson. The thought of asking someone else's body to compensate for Shen Wenlang's absence felt humiliating. And yet, in his desperation, he had to explore every option. The doctor continued, reluctantly. "Technically, pheromones can be extracted from another alpha's blood. But with your disorder, even that might not be enough. The reactions would still be severe. The safest path, the only path I can ethically recommend, is termination." Gao Tu's chest tightened. Termination felt like erasing a part of himself, a part that existed, that was alive, that was undeniably his and Shen Wenlang's, no matter how complicated that truth was. But what if we fight for it?" he asked quietly, almost pleading. "Fight for it?" The doctor's brow furrowed. "How exactly do you mean? If I could get pheromones from the child's father, maybe the pregnancy could succeed, Gao Tu said, his voice barely audible. The shame of speaking Shen Wenlang's name aloud made him lower his head. The man had created this child by mistake, had left him to deal with the consequences. And yet Gao Tu could not deny his desire to save what had been formed between them, however accidental. The doctor looked at him in surprise. Do you really think Shen Wenlang would cooperate? Gao Tu didn't answer. He wasn't sure even he believed it, but he had to try. He had prepared, even ridiculously so, for the possibility of rejection. He had asked a lawyer to draft a series of legal documents, property waivers, inheritance waivers, even a parent-child severance agreement. He was trying to cover every possibility, trying to shield himself and the child from the reality of rejection. But reality had other plans. When he finally mustered the courage to speak to Shen Wenlang, to discuss keeping the child, the response was cold, final, and utterly cutting. Of course, abort it. The words were like ice water poured over his soul. All of Gao Tu's careful preparation, all of his hope, all of his planning, crumbled instantly. Despair washed over him. There were no options left, no artificial pheromones, no extracts from other alphas, no legal maneuvering. Even his carefully constructed plan could not save the child. And he could not ask Shen Wenlang for help again. Not after this. Gao Tu leaned back in his chair, the room feeling suddenly suffocating. He didn't want to hear another word. He didn't want to speak to Shen Wenlang ever again. He didn't want to argue, to plead, or to explain. He only wanted a chance for the child to survive. But even in the depths of despair, a small part of him refused to surrender. That tiny spark, hope, stubbornness, love refused to be extinguished. He would not give up on the child. He could not. He could not change the past. He could not force Shen Wenlang to care or cooperate. He could not erase the medical reality of his own body. But he could decide, here and now, in the present, to do everything in his power to protect this child. Gao Tu closed his eyes and let the silence of the clinic envelope him. The doctor's words echoed in his mind, but beneath them was something stronger, a quiet, unyielding resolve. He wanted to save the life growing inside him. If Gao Tu's journey touched you, if his struggle moved you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below telling us what you think he should do next. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next chapter of this intense ABO drama.